Hey guys, I'm going to do a video on doing piston to valve clearance on a 12 valve. The 24 valve is very similar, but I'll do a video on the 24 valve, a separate video, just to show you how I do it. But we're going to do one on a 12 valve right now. Anyways, let's get after here. So to start with, you need to get your engine up on top dead center. And an easy way to tell if you're on top dead center is both your rockers are going to be loose. So, but anyways, if you do, I've showed in lots of videos, go in to do the timing pin, you can set your top dead center there, and you can bar the motor over however you want. Now, how I do it is I pull the number one, number two valve cover off, and what I do is I pull out this rocker bolt. You want to make sure you put that rocker bolt back. But I pull that off, and the reason I do that is so that you can, this is just a, not a super expensive magnet base. We use it for all kinds of different stuff. A magnet base with a dial indicator, and you need to be able to get that set on there and it sit flat so that it doesn't move around on you. So the reason for that, you got to be able to get this thing sturdy because you want to be able to measure everything. So something else you're going to need is you will need straight blade screwdriver, standard screwdriver, whatever you want to call it. 9/16 wrench. Does not need to be a snap-on wrench, just what I happen to have. Obviously it doesn't need to be a snap-on wrench, that was a joke. But so we want to start at top dead center. You guys want to pin it at top dead center, and now you're going to do what you want to do is you want to bring it 360 degrees. And the easiest way to tell if you're at top dead center exhaust, well, one, you can tell by, if you have the front of the cover off, you can tell by the cam, or the crank gear has the keyway straight up. But you can see you're going to start, your exhaust valve is closing, and you're going to come into and that's going to be top dead right there. So you can see that it actuated the valve down a little bit, and that's going to be top dead right there. So at this point, what you need to do is you want to zero your gauge, and I got this one actuated down. Just usually you won't have to go more than 100 thou on a factory application. It's just where the gauge is at. And you're gonna have to loosen your jam nut. You have to loosen your jam nut so that you can screw your rocker down, because that's going to be the easiest way to actuate it. So what you want to do is you want to actuate this down, and we're going to see what we got for piston to valve clearance. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. We got 69 thou piston to valve clearance on this engine anyway. And I don't know whether this thing, maybe it could have had a head gasket done, could have a thicker head gasket in it. Anyways, it could be just depending on what valve recession is, all that jazz. So this engine, there's lots of clearance in this engine. You could do a drop-in camshaft, whether it be a Colt can, a Hamilton cam, you get into a bunch of different things. But anyways, so that's all you have to do for that. And then, when you pull this off, you want to bring this, loosen your rockers off, or your rocker off, I should say, because you don't need to touch the exhaust. But it's not a bad idea to check your valve lash anyway when you have valve covers off. You're gonna have to bring it back to top dead center, number one compression, and that's gonna be how, where you start for setting your valve lash off, so that you can reset your valve lash. And at that point, you just obviously pull this off. Make sure you put this bolt back in, and anything that you've undone, you want to retorque again. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. So not too hard, but if you don't know how to do it, then I guess it's hard. So really, you don't need too much stuff to really do it. It's a pretty simple process. But what you want to do, and this should be torqued up for this engine, just put the bolt back in, we're good to go. Anyways, like, subscribe, hit me up in the comments. You got any questions, or you want me to do any videos, let me know, and I'll get after them as soon as I can. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.